Welcome to Ignite Intimacy, a podcast exploring intimacy, romantic relationships, sexuality, and the all of everything that relates to these hot topics. We're going in. You ready? This is your host, Miss La. Let's do this.
Hey, Ignite Intimacy community. This is Dr. Saida Desley, and I am so excited to tell you about my upcoming Dare Live event in LA, California at the end of September. That's this month. Now, I'm curious. Are you ready to live life on your own terms? Would you love to be more audaciously you? Perhaps you desire to live a more fulfilling life through embodying your sensuality. When you say yes to Dare Live, you're taking a step towards claiming your vitality, your sensuality, and stepping into your full power to dare even further into yourself. Plus, coming to a live event gives you the opportunity to be surrounded by awesome sisters who see you as powerful, ask questions face to face, and learn practices that are impossible for me to teach through a video. So join me and my ambassadors this September 29th to October 1st at a beautiful private studio in Los Angeles for Dare Live. And we'll see you at the event.
Skanking, grooving, hallelujah, oh yeah. Skanking, grooving, and no pressure, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Chronics. Skankin' Sweet. That's off of Chronic's new album. It is powerful and amazing. If you don't know about Chronix, he is a phenomenal young reggae artist out of Jamaica. And he is just an incredible writer, vocalist, performer, beautiful human being, and he just came out with a new album, actually, in late June or early July. And it's really phenomenal. It just goes along with the rest of his incredible work. And that song that I've been grooving on for the last couple of weeks is called Skankin' Sweet. So yeah, make sure you check out Chronix. It is really a powerful, powerful album. So welcome, Ignite Intimacy community. This is Laura Aiisha. Okay, yeah, Chronix, Chronology is the name of the album. And so it's just, you and I here today. I decided that I wanted to put out some of these just little one-off conversations here and there because I haven't done any of that since the very first episode of Ignite Intimacy. And we're 40 episodes in now. And oh my goodness gracious. I mean, we have talked about so many things. We've talked about cannabis and sex. We've talked about millennial ED, as in erectile dysfunction, because a lot of millennials are watching a lot of porn. Yeah, this is like a thing that's happening. They're not as stimulated by the real thing than they are by porn. And so anyways, interesting stuff. Talking about submitting to your dark side and BDSM and kink and the push and pull of the dark and light. And we talked with Shayna James, Passion, Love, Sex, Freedom for him, for all the brothers out there. You know we love you. We talked about sexual fluidity and gender identity. Is casual sex bad? Living an orgasmic life, tantra, jealousy, making STD disclosure sexy. That is our most popular episode, everyone. Most popular episode, making disclosure sexy. So that says a lot to me because I notice that I'm usually the person bringing up, how well do you take care of yourself? Are you having unprotected sex? When was the last time you got tested? And I'm just wondering, in your own experiences, are you bringing this up with new or current partners, even let's say, you know, I've had this lover now and he comes from Montreal and I don't see him very often, but he is around and, you know, it's like maybe you have a lover that you don't see all the time and they are most likely being sexual with other people. And, you know, are you talking with them about this stuff? Are you asking them when was the last time they've been tested and when was the last time that they had unprotected sex with someone? Very, very important. So if you haven't heard episode 16, Making STD Disclosure Sexy, it is a powerful, powerful episode, very personal episode for me. And I really highly, highly recommend that you check that one. We talked about sex and the military with Dr. Liz Powell, holistic sex education for parents and girls, healing sexual trauma so that you can deepen intimacy in romantic relationships, soul brother and soul sister relationships with my twin sister, Miss Sarah, busting stripper myths, ethical porn for dicks with Dr. David Lay, diving into pleasure, Lindsay Miller, talking about sex with Maria Baczynski. Yeah, just so much good stuff here. Polyamory, exploring the idea of sweet surrender with Deanna Joyce, exploring porn with my dear friends Guy and Nigel. They're about to have their second bebe. And putting more love on it with Abba Yahuda. So yes, I'm just so grateful for everyone who's been listening, who's been sharing. To be honest, like I'm not hearing from a lot of people yet. I'm not hearing, you know, emails. I'm not really getting too much feedback from you all yet. So it's like hard for me to know how this is landing with everyone. And I realize that, first of all, that's okay, even though I will love to hear from you and know what you think of the podcast. Is it landing for you? Are you learning things? Are there topics I haven't touched on that you'd really like to hear about? Is there an author or someone else in the sex and intimacy and romantic relationship space that you would like to me to have a conversation with? You know, is there anything else you'd like to hear on the podcast? I'd really love to just get your insights and your feedback. So you can email us anytime at hello@igniteintimacy.com, hello@igniteintimacy.com. Something that I think is really cool is that we have listeners from all over the world. It's so cool. It's like, obviously the United States and Canada, but we've got listeners that are tuning in from Saudi Arabia and Europe and Asia. And I mean, it's really cool. So big up my international family. I love you. I can't wait to join you out there in the world. For now, I am here in New York City. However, I do look forward to making some international movements over the winter. And yeah, it's great. It's really empowering to see that this is reaching across the globe. And something that gave me some energy to keep moving forward is I spoke with a friend of mine yesterday that I haven't talked to in a while. And she was telling me that this summer she had a lot of downtime on a farm. And she said, I had your podcast just like episode after episode. It was just playing it. Sometimes it was just sort of background noise. Sometimes I was really focused on it. And she said, girl, the podcast is awesome. And I felt really touched by that because, again, I'm just not totally sure how this is landing for people. And it meant a lot. It meant a lot to hear that. And, you know, so it's great. If you love it, let me know. You can always leave a review on iTunes, which is super helpful for podcasters. It just helps bump you up in the iTunes system. It helps more people learn about your podcast and what other people think about it. So please hop over to iTunes, leave us a review and a rating. But yeah, so I was stoked. And if you don't like the podcast, like, that's cool. You could let me know that too. Any feedback is good feedback. And so something that I have been dancing with. So I started the Ignite Intimacy podcast. I started to birth the idea of it back in January 2016, I believe. And started to pull the idea together. I was on a 6-month man pause, not menopause, a man pause, because I was just like, frustrated about having the same experiences over and over and over again. And I did the pause. It was mostly successful. I had a few trip ups along the way, and this is life. So I went where the pleasure was, and that was fun. And however, I was mainly very good during that time frame, and committed to my man pause. And I learned a lot. I got some space. I started focusing on my own self-worth, and, just starting to wake up to some of the ways that I might be showing up for men. A lot of that expanded for me last fall. I was in California, and I had some interactions with a man out there that even further, like he just so deeply knows himself. And he is so connected to what works for him and what doesn't, that any of the ways that I was trying to manipulate situations or whatever, just to deal with things, like the ways that I had developed through the years to deal with certain things in regards to relating with men and all of that, he would call me out on that stuff. And so I started to wake up even more to how am I actually showing up for men? What does that look like? And it not comfortable to go there. However, it is so necessary. And I am still in that exploration, because honestly, I'm continuing to have experiences where I get a lot of attention from men. I have some great men coming in and out of my world, but none of it ever seems to go anywhere. It's I usually maintain good relations with the men that I've engaged on different levels, but it's that, okay, one date leads to the next, and then, and then you're keeping in touch, and then, you're building relationships. And it's bizarre because I build relationships for a living. I mean, that's what my work is. I specialize in new business development work, and I'm very good at it. So I'm curious why I'm having this other experience in my dating life. And I'm noticing a couple of different things. And one of the things that I'm noticing is that, so I was dating this guy in June that I really liked. I really liked him, and I liked our connection. We seemed to have great conversation, and we went out on, I think 4 dates. And I was really excited about this guy. He was totally not rushing me into the bedroom and all of that. It was he was patient, and I felt like we had this sweet thing going on. And then he just dropped off, and it was a month went by before I saw him again. And I asked him if he would, be willing to just meet for coffee or jump on the phone. I just, being the curious cat that I am, I want to know, I want to know. However, I want to know normally from a place of what did I do? And it's not always about me, right? It's largely about what's going on for him in his own life. Maybe something that I did rubbed him the wrong way, or he, and he didn't know how to communicate that, or he just wasn't feeling me. But I was getting indications that he was feeling me. So eventually he told me via text message that he just wasn't feeling our connection. And I was super, I was bummed out about that, because first of all, I just want to know. I would prefer to know what's going on for the man and understand, how am I showing up that is either causing you to just go silent or not want to, go out anymore? What is that really about? And I've thought about doing an experiment and contacting men that I've dated in the past and just asking them. And because I really want to know, I'm on this discovery to know how I'm showing up for other people. And I also am on this discovery to discover just true love and connection in my life, and to connect with men where it has the potential to go somewhere. And so on the flip side of all of that, I also realized I am terrified of commitment. I'm terrified of commitment. I'm terrified of becoming obsolete in a man's life where at one point he loved me, and now, I've lost that spark in his heart. And that is something that has really terrified me through the years about love. And love is just like this extra special thing that it takes you on your own, on its whole own journey. And it can impact you in all these different ways. And, I'm just speaking about it right now. And I've been doing some of the landmark programs. So I did the landmark forum in May. I did the advanced course in June, and now I'm in the self-expression and leadership program. And a lot of what I'm talking about right now are just stories. Like, it's not even real. It's like stories I've made up to make sense about things that I just don't have the answer to, either because I haven't been able to, or I haven't even tried to clean things up with people, or, I've just been attached to the story that I've created about it. So I'm aware of that. And yeah, I'm creating the possibility in my life to be open to receive love, and love that is mutual, right? So like where we meet and it's like we're both feeling each other and we're both a yes, because I seem to have these mismatched things happen all the time. It's like, okay, yes, I do have men that are pursuing me, but they're not men that I'm feeling either like attracted to, or like I could be sexual with, or that I'm just like not feeling their vibe, or it's just not a match for me in other ways. So yeah, I'm just on this big exploration about all of this stuff. So I actually just got an audiobook by Christian Carter. Gosh, what is the name of it? Catch Him and Keep Him. And I don't like that name at all. However, I felt like it could give me some insight into the man's perspective and really get in his world, get from the man's perspective. And every person is different, right? However, I know just as I am like diving deep into educating myself on racism and white privilege and white supremacy and all of these things, I'm want to dive deep into really getting a better understanding of the way that men operate and the mind of the man. So this is something that I'm dancing with, that I'm playing with, and loving myself through all the ups and downs, and also just wanting to be myself. And really, like, I could hear one of my landmark coaches saying, like, who is yourself? Like, that doesn't exist. So just wanting to be aligned with what I'm committed to creating in the world. That's what I want to be. And I realized that a lot of where I have been coming from is an old act or story that I took on many, many years ago that I don't measure up. So even though I think that I'm showing up for dates and I'm just being myself, some of that is coming from a foundation of like, I don't measure up. So let me make sure that I'm measuring up. And so I'm curious how that might be impacting my dating life. I mean, clearly things are impacting my dating life. Not that I have a dating life, which is exciting, and I'm meeting a lot of different men. However, I'm just, not having that experience of things really progressing into like the next phases of relationship. So I'm curious how many of you out there might be experiencing some of this. And I'm also curious how some of you who have been in long-term relationships, I mean, it always fascinates me how someone is like in a 5-year relationship, they're single for 3 months, and then they're already in another relationship. And I'm baffled by that. Like, I have no idea, like, what the fuck? What, really? Like, you're kidding me, How did you do that? And so, yeah, so this is my exploration, and I'm just outing myself because I actually feel like some shame and embarrassment about this part of my life. And so here I am, outing myself for the world. Whew, that's big stuff. And I'm here and I love myself, and I just, I'm committed to creating possibilities for just epic love and romance and partnership, and just to be and to receive and to share love in the world, and love that has life and has legs and, moves forward in the most gorgeous ways. And, I want to have someone really special that I can venture around New York City with and venture around the world with and create projects with and have fun with and make love with and explore our sexuality together and just our own beingness together. So this is Laura Aiisha here on the Ignite Intimacy podcast. And another thing that I'm going to shift about the Ignite Intimacy podcast is this whole Miss Law thing. I was doing the Miss Law because I was not totally ready to out myself. And there are still ways I'm not ready to out myself. There are podcasters who get on and really in this space, this, intimacy and sex space that talk about their own sex lives and that kind of thing. I'm not really quite ready to go there yet. That could change, but we'll see. So I'm getting rid of the Miss Law and, I am Laura Aiisha. They call me Laura Aiisha. That's what I go by. And in this world anyways. And so just, wanted to give you the update on that. And you will also be hearing some new content on the podcast. I want to share some of the things that have really products that I'm loving, things that I've been impacted by, and, stuff that I think you're really going to dig. So one of those things is a board game called Sparked. And these two amazing women created Sparked. Lisa and Jen is a co-founder. And this board game is really cool. And I have played it with some of the most skeptical people in my life, and they loved it. They had such a good time, and it blew me away. So Sparked is a board game that celebrates and uplifts teens and adults in purposeful play. So it just completely brings you together. You have opportunities to just share things that you wouldn't normally share with each other. And you'll have juicy conversations and laugh until you cry moments. It's just really, really fun. And it can literally be used in the boardroom, at book clubs, yoga retreats, girls' nights, family gatherings. And it's really been created to empower, celebrate, and connect players to each other and their own passions and purposes. So it's all about creating new possibilities and deeper connections with ourselves and others. So we'll include a link to Sparked in the show notes. So make sure that you check that out. And again, we'll love to hear from you. I want to hear from you. Just if you want to say hi, let me know you're listening. Are you sharing this with people in your life and having conversations about these topics? What are you learning? What do you want to hear more of? And drop me a line. hello@igniteintimacy.com. hello@igniteintimacy.com. And I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for being here on this journey with me. And I look forward to the more and just dancing and playing with you in this space of love, intimacy, romance, sexuality, because, we're all gorgeous, romantic, sexual, intimate beings in this world. We all have that spark and that energy within us. So big love, lots of light out there. We need it in the world. Let's love ourselves so that we can love each other. Let's do whatever we can to unlearn racism, to stand up when we see inequality and white supremacy and discrimination happening in front of our eyes. Let's really learn about other people's experiences so we can have more empathy and deeper connections with people. And that way we can develop more unity within ourselves, within our communities, within our world. So that's my little preachy preach for the day. And I can't wait to see you on the next one. So Ignite Intimacy community, big up yourselves, lots of love and blessings, and ciao for now.
Give thanks for tuning in to another conversation on the Ignite Intimacy podcast hotline. We love that you choose to spend your time with us. Check us out online at igniteintimacy.com and subscribe to us on iTunes. Also, tell your friends all about it. This beautiful music was arranged by Jason Pfaff and Mike Corey. and this podcast is produced by yours truly, Miss La. Give thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one. In the meantime, let your light shine bright and ignite your intimacy.